You're here.
What did you say, Jordan and Amina are on?
Well, yes,
They are on.
they're on. They're on. They were kept away from being next to me on the live, but they're watching. They're watching.
Hi, Alessandra.
Yes, Alessandra's here. She's waving. There's some other folks that have joined that are waving. I was just saying it's been a minute since we've been on live, so it's good to be back.
Yeah, it's a perfect topic.
It is a perfect topic because so what we're talking about today is motivation versus
Discipline.
we got love. Discipline.
Love,
I was just, that was my I was trying to tee it up for you to
I know, right? Oh, what you saying? Discipline.
And I think that is something, we were talking about with this live, and that, sorry, I got phone calls.
In our own lives.
Just this live situation. Yeah. It is sometimes a challenge.
Yeah, it is a challenge. So yeah, what is motivation? What is discipline? What is the difference? What's sustainable? What isn't? They're not the same things. So, we wanted to make sure that people kind of understand that, because a lot of times, and I think this applies to not just like we're talking specifically health and wellness and building a healthy lifestyle, but this applies all over, because even when you're starting a business or you're starting a new job or you bought this new home or whatever that is, you are you might be intrinsically motivated because of for whatever reason. So like you might be motivated because you just you actually started the new job. It's new, it's fresh, it's like clean slate, you're meeting new people and so on and so forth, but that's not what's going to keep you going. So in motivation, it really ties to your reasons for kind of getting started. For example,
absolutely,
you want to get in this new bathing suit and you are motivated to do that. So that is where motivation comes into play. The desire to attain or make change. And it can be very fleeting, but I think motivation and discipline go hand in hand, but they're not the same thing.
They're not the same.
Right? And I could be motivated to work out like today, but tomorrow,
maybe not. And that's the thing. We can't just lean on that motivation to be the only thing that's going to keep us going and to keep, every day for us to do whatever it is that we desire, right? We can't just depend on that motivation. And I think I know that I definitely just in general, I stay motivated, but I work on that every day, right? It's just, kind of talking to myself or whatever to keep that motivation. But there are days where you're like, do I really want to do this?
Right. So there may be other ways, like, your increased energy levels could be a motivator. Like, I can't believe I'm motivated today. That's one. Maybe friends and family provide some motivation, or like you're feeling a little bit more confident because of these motivations. Reducing the risk of disease or whatever that is. They might be these outside motivators, but so there's intrinsic and there's extrinsic, right? Intrinsic are those that come from the inside, and extrinsic are those that come from outside. So like, your friends and family could be extrinsic motivators, but maybe your own desire to lose some weight or feel better, or feel stronger, or reduce body fat, or eat healthier, whatever that is, it's coming from within. Being more mindful and having this growth mindset that we talk about. Those are things that come from within. But wanting to look like somebody might be an extrinsic motivator, or, preparing for an event, extrinsic motivator. So understanding that is really important because it's fleeting. They are events. You're not always going to be motivated internally and externally. They're not always going to be there. So what's going to carry you forward
is that discipline.
is the discipline.
And that's so true. Just thinking about, whether it be intended, why can't I speak?
I don't know.
Intrinsic or extrinsic, right? Like sick. But with those, it obviously they could be giving you positive motivation, but there are times where you might have within yourself, right? Then you might not have that motivation within yourself, or you might have other people saying, oh, you can't do that or whatever, right? That's kind of demotivating. So you have to be able to work through that, have that within yourself, that discipline, so that you can push through those times when you start to feel down, or someone says something that kind of makes you feel like, oh, well, maybe I can't do this. So that's when that discipline has to kick in and you push forward.
Yeah. And so like we're definitely creatures of habit, and it takes a while. Someone said 21 days. I don't believe that. It's probably like 66 or something. I don't know. It's much longer to develop longer sustaining healthy habits. And so, a habit is planning your workouts monthly, weekly. The habit of planning, that is something that it sustains beyond motivation.
Right.
And so the habit of cooking your meals in before the week starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is a habit that will sustain you beyond the motivation that got you wanting to eat healthy in the first place. So now once you create this habit where you set this regimen, you start on Sunday and you're like, it's Sunday at 1:00, I'm going to plan my meals for the week. That's a habit that you want to create that will sustain you beyond motivation, because you're just now it's just like clockwork, and it takes some time, and it takes actually an open mind to be able to create this new discipline. I think I don't know if you get this, Christina, but I get it a lot. People are saying you're so much more disciplined than me, but no, I'm human. But I decided. It's a decision that you make to establish a new habit and become disciplined. Discipline is something that all of us have. So some of us, maybe we're more inclined to be more disciplined in specific areas, maybe in your finances, maybe at work, maybe with your kids, or maybe, in the way that you go grocery shopping or whatever it is. Like, we all have these gifts and talents. Maybe it's in your spirituality, you're a little bit more disciplined, but you take that discipline and you apply it across multiple facets
the other areas.
of your life.
Yep.
So it is a choice, and you can choose to, everything's not going to be perfect. So we get people that try to go, all 250% into their journey, and we're like, wait a minute.
It scares me, seriously. I get a little frightened. I get frightened, because it just sounds, I'm like, please don't ever say what you think I want to hear or whatever you think sounds right. I want whatever decision to be made to be based on what's going to be right for the individual. And so if we're starting to put together a plan, we can't full stop change everything at one point, because it just leaves so many windows open for you to potentially oh, well, maybe I should do this, and maybe I'll forget to do that or whatever. So it just, you can't go crazy with setting up these goals or expectations for yourself. It's just not sustainable.
Yeah, they go, and the motivation, and so sometimes if you're being overly disciplined and overly regimented, then it can be a demotivator. I think the equation is motivation plus discipline equals you reaching your goals. They must go together. And so if you are not, you don't have both sides of the equation, then
Mm-hmm.
you're definitely not going to reach your goals. Um, and you need to, I think sometimes when you, like, let's say for instance on the discipline side, um, maybe you're a busy mom and you've got, one one or more child that you're balancing, your schedule versus their schedule, and you don't have, an hour to go work out. Well, you cannot try to create a habit of working out an hour. That doesn't work. But what does work is creating a habit of working out with the time that you have. So
Right.
if you have 20 minutes, then you're going to get a knockdown, drag out, good old 20-minute workout when you can, and establishing that as a habit. And then what you were talking about earlier, Christina, about opening the doors. Now you've opened the doors. Once you establish the habit and you find time, you now can open the door to maybe one day you have more time and you can take that 20-minute workout and make it 45. So it's really just like focusing on what got you motivated to get started. Always looking back at that,
Mm-hmm.
because that's tied to like your goal, like that's tied to your goal. And then the discipline, so plus discipline is the habits that are going to get you there. So that means that you need to get appropriate sleep, or you need to like do activities that help you de-stress, or maybe that means you need to cut activities out, um,
Mm-hmm.
for you. For You just have to make a decision for yourself. But it's really, we're talking about just setting habits plus that motivation equals you attaining your goals.
Absolutely. It can be small. Like it doesn't have to be a big thing that you choose. The first thing you decide to do could be really small, right?
Yeah.
And then you can just build on it. Keep building, and then you finally have this lifestyle, right? That you can use and really build and be successful. So it's not just like, okay, well, I'm really good at my routine on the weekend or the week during the week, but then weekends it goes out the window. Like we should keep some sort of routine. It may not be the same, but there should be an established routine for, all days of the week. And I'm not saying working out. I'm just saying there should be some sort of routine with the way
Right.
that you live your life
Yeah.
so that you can still see the goals that you want at the end of the day.
Right. I mean, just think of it. Let's take, health and fitness out of it. Let's talk about work. Um, I'm motivated to get a new job, and I am going to have the discipline to get it. I need to talk to who? You need to talk to your friends. You need to network. You need to network and you need to interview. You need to make sure your resume is up to date. And so once you have all those things, you're reaching out to people consistently. You developed a habit of reaching out to recruiters or your friends, and maybe they're executives at other companies, and scheduling calls, and just that becomes, those habits or behaviors become, it's the habits and the discipline that you apply to your motivation to get a job equals on the outset is you getting the new job.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it works. That's the way it works with everything. You want to save money. You're motivated to save money for, let's say, retirement.
Right.
So the discipline is you have to develop a habit of saving money on a regular basis, putting it away for whether it's your 401k or whether it's your own personal savings account or whatever it is, however you're deciding to put money away, that you have to establish a habit of putting money away, so
Mm-hmm.
that boom, it equals enough money for retirement. So that's what we're talking about. That's how it goes hand in hand, because I think that, um, and studies show that, hey, you're putting money away, you're putting money away, you're putting money away. That's one side of the equation. You're like, but I want to go on this trip. Like, what am I putting money away for?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back to the other side of the equation. I want to retire early. How about that? So now you're reminded of your motivation equals boom back to your goals. That's how it works. And
Absolutely.
so if we apply this to fitness, we say, or we apply it to actually, we'll bring it back into fitness. So we say, I want to lose 3 inches around my waist. I'm motivated, right? I want to do that. So what does that mean? That means that you're going to have to establish some discipline around the way you exercise, your consistency there, and your consistency in your nutritional behaviors, like having healthy nutritional behaviors. And these are some of the things that we work through with our clients. Like, what does that even mean? And you don't hit both at the same time. You don't have to do that. You
Right.
can if you're in that place. But some people just need to like work out. They
Right.
were like,
Right. And
let's
then some
start there.
people just need like, right. Some people, right. Well, number one, yes.
And some
That's
people
like
need to
a
like,
baseline.
let's work on your nutrition. That's it. You got the
Right.
workouts down. Let's focus on your behaviors in regards to nutrition. So it could be just tracking every day to
Right.
start.
Right. And then there are people who need help and just making sure they're getting enough sleep, because we know how important rest and recovery are to your goals as well. So,
Right.
We talk about those things, and those are not things that are overlooked, right? So it's not just the you have to do this exercise or you must eat this. All those things go into the equation, but depending on where you are in your life, some of those may weigh differently, right? Like I know we talked to some people who have that workout down and like, I got this, I know what I'm doing, but the nutrition is like, questionable, right?
Right.
And so we can then say, okay, we can lower the need for this exercise focus and really pipe up the nutrition. And so it just depends on the person, and some need to work on it at the same time or whatever, but it just depends on the individual, and we can figure out what makes sense so that you can have that right equation to get you to whatever that equal is at the end for your goal.
Right. And just to that, what we do is help people figure out what's going to be their lifetime equation. What are the things that are motivating you? What are the habits that you need to develop to reach your long-term goals, your lifetime goals, your life-sustaining goals? Those are the things that we work on. Yeah, could we give you some like crazy diet and you drop 30 pounds in like 2 months? I mean, I don't know. That's crazy. But
Crazy.
But people do it. People do it all the time, and then they end up right back here. Like, and so
right, that's not it.
Right. So we're offering something a little bit more methodical and sustaining for those people that really are serious about developing a healthy lifestyle and understanding what that means to them, because it's not just about what it means to us. And we explain a lot of that. We do a lot of discussions and posts about building a healthy lifestyle. But, we work on what it actually means for you. We start you off with a really good strategy session. We want to dig into your head. We set some goals. We give you some feedback, and we get that thing going. Like, we're busy professionals, so we don't play. We just want you to be ready to go. We'll give you exactly what you need. It takes time, but if you do what we say, you will get the results.
You will get the results. And again, I'm just thinking the motivation, while you might walk into it day one, sometimes we need to work on just maintaining that motivation.
Yeah.
And that's, again, what we're here for with the accountability and things like that can help give you the tools to maintain that motivation. We're the external, assisting with the external.
So the takeaways: motivation is what you need to be inspired to make a change. Intrinsic motivation is internal, what's going on the inside that's going to make you want to change. Extrinsic is external. What are some of those outside of yourself, those motivators that are outside of yourself that don't really necessarily come within? And then, the discipline. Discipline is what's needed beyond motivation to get you to your goals. And, you know, the equation is motivation plus discipline equals attaining your goals.
I love it. It's a perfect equation that you can, you know, that X and Y equals Z can be used in so many different ways, which is awesome.
And, you know, I was going to say this thing about this intrinsic versus extrinsic. And I will tell you that intrinsic motivation is stronger than anything. It's not just that extrinsic motivation is like, it comes and goes, people change, things change, but digging down on what's on the inside that's where we really focus, not just the external. Like we could train for an event and that's fine, but what's going on the inside, what you really want to accomplish, what's really motivating you on deep down in your heart. Those are the things that we want to kind of dig and understand. And then we help you with the discipline. We help you put the equation together so you can reach your goals.
Yep. Absolutely. I love that equation.
We love the equation.
And again, we use it all the time.
We use it for ourselves.
For ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Like 100%, without a doubt, use that for ourselves every day in all facets, as you said. Like it's not just in, you know, one area of our lives. So absolutely.
And the church said amen.
Amen.
All right, lady.
It was good.
Well, it was good. I hope that, if anybody has questions, just drop them. If you want to hear more about this, we're happy to share. But, you know, and if you want to schedule your strategy session, just click the link in the bio.
Yep. Hit us up. We'll actually come back here and check for any questions, DM us, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye, everyone.